Okay.
Yeah, so we had like these three exercises to be done before this class. So if you can, so any which all were you able to like to complete it? Okay,
Here are three exercises using for looping. So exercise one, it is for
correct, correct.
decrement.
Uh,
Exercise two is increment, and also exercise three is for
Pattern.
multi loops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So based
Okay,
on this exercise one,
okay.
so for loop int iterate, I less than or equal 5, I increment 5
Decrement.
or decrement 5,
Yeah.
and also to print. This is for we can give. Let me comment this.
Yeah. So everyone who has not done this, please follow Gesso. So we had like these three exercises, exercise 1, 2, and 3 to be done as part of your home assignment. So see, exercise 1 is about printing 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. So if you can see, right, all the numbers have a difference of 5. So each subsequent number is decrementing by 5. So we know that we need to like decrement 5 every time. And what is our initial number? Our initial number is 30. And i- and our final number is like 5. So int I equal to 30. So this is our initialization step. So initially we will initialize a variable to 30 because that is our initialization step, and we have to like run this loop until we reach 5. So I greater than equal to 5 means I this this is our condition, I greater than equal to 5. So this loop must run until we reach 5 or greater than 5. And what happens every time? Every time we decrement, every time we print a number, we decrement 5 because the next number is supposed to be 5 smaller than the previous number. So that is how Gesso has uh, 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 written this program. I think this is very well written. Can you just run this program? I think there is some compilation error. If you could,
Okay.
yeah, just comment out those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still see some error.
No, no,
See,
that is another. Okay, let me use this one. Yeah.
there's some see if you have those, you can see that red underline on your iteration basic.java, right? If you have that error, then it means that there is some compilation error. Okay, so see, it's giving proper output 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. The first line output may be of some different program, so this is fine. You
Here
can,
it is.
yeah, you can ignore that. That output was of some different program. Yeah.
Uh,
Can you also do, instead of this print ln, just do print, remove that ln from line number 95 because we needed to like, was the output supposed to be in one line, right? Now you will get the output in one line.
yeah.
Yeah. So ln is basically for changing the line. So now you can see system.out.print I and appended by space. So you can just write plus and append it by a space. Everyone able to follow this? This was a very simple program. Anyone has any issues in following this assignment?
Yeah, I'll try to do the same thing, you know. Did you have another method after this, or
Sorry?
this one is the same thing when I tried, but did you have another methods or the same thing like this? This one I already tried.
You have
Did
already
you?
tried this one, right? You were able to get the output, right?
Right.
Okay. So then it's
Uh,
fine. And okay, so if you were able to get the output, we'll And if no one has any issues, we'll go to the second problem. So second problem everyone can see, right? So the second program was like printing from 3 to 30, and every time we need to increment the numbers by 3. So the first number is 3, then 6, then 9. Every time it increments by 3. So when we see such a sequence, what our initial thought is that we need to use an increment operator while incrementing. So the first number is 3. So initialization is basically 3. Int y equal to 3. And how long do we need to run this? Until we reach 30. So in condition, it should be like this loop should be run until and unless we reach 30. So y less than equal to 30. And once we have like printed one number, so what should we basically do? We should basically increment the condition, but increment the number by 3. So that is what we are doing in like y equal to y plus 3. So how does it operate? Y is initially 3. We check for whether this is less than equal to 30. The condition is correct. We print it. And then once we have printed it, next we go to this increment operator. Y becomes 3 plus 3, 6. Again, the condition is checked. Again, it gets printed. And we do this as long as the condition is correct. That as long as our y is less than equal to 30. So we keep on printing. And then we basically come out of this loop once this condition is wrong. So you can just append it by space such that it becomes, yeah, that is fine. Yeah, can you run it now? Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Can we go to the next problem? Did you, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
this is, okay, okay. Anti-x equal to 1, x less than equal to 5, x plus plus, j equal to 1, j less than equal to 5, okay, j plus plus, okay, okay,
Let me
yeah.
where is it starting? And, why not come down?
You must be having some
Let me,
yeah.
okay.
So this was also a very good problem. So everyone who has not done this or was not able to follow this one, kindly check the solution. I'll explain this. Or maybe guess you would like to explain this?
Which one? This
Third
one?
one, last problem.
Oh, third one. Okay, third one. Where is exercise 3? Okay, exercise the third one. We have multi-loops. Int x is equal to 1, x less than or equal 5, x increment because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So x increment until 5 less than or equal. And also the second int j as well, it is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same row in the column, so that's why for my understood it is j as well, less than or equal 5. This is for the assignment, and also this is a condition. This is for the increment and the printout or execute. This is system of print x. This is one method. I use this is the output is as expected, and method that is the method one as well. This is method one and method two. I try to this is the same, but if a condition I use if a condition j greater than 1, it is passed. So the execute result is we get it for as expected. And another loop method is for integer x 1 less than for the system out print. I think it is similar to the
Yeah,
first one.
this is
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
So
So
maybe we can go to that first one which you explained. Let me also just explain once more. So yeah, see if you at line number 103 to 107, you can see the problem statement, right? So basically what our problem was, we needed to print a sequence of numbers that was in a pattern, maybe in a pattern of rows and columns. So if you can see, when we have this 1 1 1 1 1 at line number 103, so if you can see line number 111 to 118, this is the code I am explaining as of now. Yeah, you can just select that. So what our initial thought process is, when we have a single row to print, what we do, we basically run a single loop, and we use the initialization and whatever condition is to be required, and then we increment it. But here we have sequence of rows, and that mixes we have like 5 rows here. The two problems that we saw before this were having a single row of output, and here we have like 5 rows of output. So the outer loop is basically for 5 rows. Understand this. So if it was just a single row, we would not need the outer loop, but we need to like basically print 5 rows. So the outer loop is for 5 rows. If it was for like if we were to print 10 rows, then our initial uh 100 line number 111 would be like x less than equal to 10, because we needed to print 10 rows. But here it's like 5, so that is like initialized with x equal to 1, and how many number of rows, x less than equal to 5. 5 is basically the number of rows. And then what happens, when we print one line, we need to go to the next line. So that is why we have this x plus plus. So what happens now at line number 112, it is j equal to 1, j less than equal to 5, and j plus plus. So this is for 5 numbers that we are printing in a row. Means at every row has basically 5 numbers. So this condition is for that. J less than equal to 5 is for those 5 numbers. And what do we basically need to print? We need to print 1 1 1 1 1 in the first iteration. So we basically need to print x, because x throughout the first row remains 1. So system.out.print x. So when we print x, we are basically printing 1. And again, what happens? J becomes 2. 2 is less than equal to 5. So our condition is still true. And we are again printing 1, because we are printing x only. And again, the condition is j gets incremented, j goes to 3. 3 less than equal to 5, condition is still true. And then we again print x. So we again print 1. So once this uh, j less than equal to 5 condition becomes false, means j goes and increments until 6. So this condition becomes false. So this the control goes out of this inner loop, and again it goes to the outer loop. And x increments from 1 to 2. So now what our task is, we basically need to print line number 2. That is line number the at line number 2 104 2 2 2 2 2. So again it comes to inner loop, and again we repeat this process. And once again the inner loop condition becomes false, we again go to the outer loop, x becomes 3, and again this process gets repeated until x less than equal to 5 condition becomes false. So if you would like to execute this, Gesso.
okay, let me I check it. I will.
Yeah, there might be some curly braces issue. Uh, yeah. Okay, can you just at line number 150, can you append a space after X where you're printing? See, at line number 152, we have like system.out.println. This is for changing the line because after one row of iteration, we need our output to be in the next line. So this is for that. Everyone following this?
Yes.
Yeah. So these were 3 assignments that you had to do. Anyone who has not done it, kindly, you have already seen how Gesso has done it, and you can go again, and if in case you have not done it, you can try this again.
But
Uh,
the same
okay.
thing when you do that with laser, for example, J is make laser. Is that difference for that?
Sorry, I did not get your question.
Because the loop is the for loop. I mean the
Yes.
J laser, for example, laser. I mean greater than, right?
Less than. That is less than equal to.
Yeah, when you change it, so what do you do? I mean the same result. I mean -1 when you laser. Yeah, look laser.
See, what happens now if you get it greater than equal to 5, right? It won't print this one, right?
Yeah.
Try executing this one, Guesser. Just hit that run button.
I think we didn't get 1 out of 5.
You will not get the output now. Why?
Mhm.
Because see,
Mhm.
j equal to 1 and j greater than equal to 5. Is the condition
So
correct? Is 1 greater than equal to 5? Condition becomes false, right? So when the condition becomes false, your loop won't be executed. You will be the control would go out of the loop, right? Your condition itself is wrong. J equal to 1, 1 greater than equal to 5. That is false, right? If it is false, the print statement at line number 150 will never be executed. So that is why we never went and printed this value of X. Got it?
yeah, yes. That's why the value J minus K, the same thing value. I mean the same
J,
increment.
sorry,
Is J is -1. J is -1, right?
J is -1.
That's incremental, okay.
No,
When
we are
you,
incrementing
I
it.
mean decremental, when you decremental, we can do it, right?
Yeah, you can do it in multiple ways. So you could have also done it like this. You could have initialized J. Guess, can you make some changes? I'll let you know. Can you initialize J equal to 5? J is equal to 5.
Mhm.
J greater than equal to 1 and J minus minus. Can you execute this now? See, this is another way of also writing the program, right? J is equal to 5, J greater than equal to 1, and J minus minus. So this
You didn't change it, right?
it still works. No, this is decrement.
Assumes.
This is like writing the same program in a different way. You basically have to you are not printing J, you are printing basically X. And how much times you are printing X? You are printing it 5 times, right? So J is equal to 5 and J greater than equal to 1. So this is basically like a counter which is like running 5 times, right? Your inner loop is basically kind of like a counter which is running 5 times for every value of X. So for a value of X equal to 1, J will run 5 times. So even if like I'm making this J equal to 5 and J greater than equal to 1, so basically it runs 5 times, right? Your inner loop runs 5 times, means it runs for 5, J equal to 5, it runs for J equal to 4, J equal to 3, J equal to 2, and J equal to 1. Now, when the condition becomes false, J becomes 0, your control goes out of this loop. And now X becomes 2. So now when X is incremented to 2, again this inner for loop executes for J equal to 5, J equal to 4, J equal to 3, J equal to 2, J equal to 1. Means it runs for a counter of 5 times. And again, we print X. We don't print J, we print X. So now again we print 2 5 times. So this is how it operates. Your inner loop is basically working as a counter here. So got it now?
Okay, yep, I got it. And when you, this multiple, this multiple for loop, right? So you can add one third one, right? Any third for loops, like
You can add any number of for loops. Means as of now, our problem statement required only 2 for loops. You could have like another loop inside the second for loop. You could have like multiple for loops. Means there is no limit to that.
okay.
But this question is, I think, as well for my question.
Yeah.
So
This
when we
ca-
use more than two for loops, that means 34. So it counted from until finishing the last one, yet from the last one and to come the first. It is similar way, which means uh, which means we have this one. So the first I is equal to 1, J1. It is the first output, but the second I1 until J, when J less than or equal 3, which means it checks 5 times, but J is less than 3. When getting 3, after that, around to come, step 2. But we have another here. If we add it here,
yes.
let me
For him.
put it comment. Okay, here, let me y is equal to 1 semi-condition is okay. Y less than or equal or semicolon y plus plus. So if you have this, what is the output from here? Y. What we
How,
are
yeah, how do you expect this one result? Yeah.
So see how this multiple loops will run now is like for a value of I equal to 1, the condition is true. So it goes within that for loop for j equal to 1, right? Now j's value is 1, condition is again true because 1 is less than equal to 3. And what happens now is like there's another for loop. So now y equal to 1 and 1 is less than equal to 4. The condition is still true. So what are we basically printing? We are printing I into j. So I is 1, j is 1. So we'll print 1. Now what happens? Y will get incremented. Y will become 2. And again, I and j are still 1, right? Oh, you're printing, you're taking down the product of y as well, right? Okay.
yes,
Mhm.
So,
actually, yes, that
yeah.
is it.
So 1 into 1 into 1 first time, then
1.
1 into 1 into 2 next time, then 1 into 1 into 3 next time, and 1 into 1 into 4, because y, the inner loop, y got incremented, right? 1, y got incremented from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Then what happened? This j, it went to j. J got incremented. So j became 2. So next product will be I is 1, j is 2, and then you will have for I equal to 1, j equal to 2, you will have 4 values of y, like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 into 2 into 1, 1 into 2 into 2, 1 into 2 into 3, 1 into 2 into 4. So that will be our output. And so on, you can go on. So see, if you start writing down multiple groups, right, what you can do best is like you can take a pen and paper. You can like make columns for you yourself, like I j and uh, I j and y, and for each iteration start writing down the values of I j and y. So then you will start understanding more clearly. Got it?
Okay, for my understanding now, when I1, for I1, J2, so I expected from here J1 as well and Y2. And after finish the Y value and then come count.
Guesser, can you run this program? We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can comment on comment out this one. I think you are commenting out one more for one extra loop you commented. That was yeah, you could comment at line 153. Just comment out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we could.
Now can you run this? Can you do one more thing? Can you? Okay, this is looking a bit weird. I enter. Okay, wait a minute. Print, and you're printing this. I integer into one, and then okay, j equal to 1, j less than 3, j plus plus. Okay, and then you're printing it. This is fine, and then can you do one thing? Can you also can you like put proper curly brackets after each loop? That will like give exactly clear, means this is another way of writing, but yeah, after every statement, right? After every for loop, give proper curly curly brackets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curly brace.
Yeah, this and after this as well.
What I do? Okay.
Start one curly bracket there as well.
Yeah.
Add one curly bracket. Then this is the closing of this. Close two more curly brackets.
Yeah.
And close all the brackets in a separate line, such that you will have like
separate line.
yeah, like at line number 42 there are two curly brackets open, closed. So maybe you can put one curly bracket at line number 43. Means means it looks better. It would be, you would basically understand like which curly bracket is getting closed for which loop.
አትደርበው የብቻ ብቻ አድርግላችሁ ከታች
1, 2, 3.
ካርሊ ብለስ የተደረበው
That we close 3.
No, wait. Yeah, this is correct. Now when you place your pointer at line number 36, right, you can see at 43 this is like marked in yellow, so you know that your loop is ending here, right? And when you place your pointer at line number 37 after the curly brace, put it there at line number 37.
Okay, I put it for open curly brace.
Yeah, just press your cursor there, you would know where exactly it is ending.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is your end of loop, so that gives you better indentation as well. You get to know where exactly your loop is ending, right? So that gives you some clear idea. So do one more thing, system.out.println, put one system.println at line number after line number 42.
Okay.
After
Close
line no, after closing closed bracket means no, not there, wait.
43
now
ላይ ሲስተም ፕሪንት
after line number 43 means after the closing bracket of 43.
Okay.
ከሱ
Before
በላይ ኖ
no,
ከሱ
no.
በላይ ነው እንጂ ከሱ
We
በላይ
have already, we have here.
Wait a minute.
We have two.
No.
43 ከእንትኑ ከዘጋ በኋላ ወደ ታች አወጣ።
Guess what? Can you go to this program? Yeah. Before line 44, I just want you to print system.out.println before line 44. Yeah.
አሁን
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. Can you execute this now? That is fine. Keep it, let it be. We'll see. Can you execute this now? Okay. Now you can see, right? Your output in this manner.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now you're seeing this. I equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, I plus plus. And then j equal to 1, right? So when
Yeah.
I and j are 1, y becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 1 into 1 into 1, 1 into 1 into 2, 1 into 1 into 3, 1 into 1 into 4. So that's your first line printed. Now what happens? J becomes 2, right? J becomes
Yeah.
2. So I is 1, j is 2. So and y becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 into 2 into 1 is 2. 1 into 2 into 2 is 4. 1 into 2 into 3 is 6. 1 into 2 into 4 is 8. That's your second line. Now j becomes 3. So I is
Okay.
still,
It,
you got it
it
now, right?
this value for y, yes, for is the y value. I times y for because
Yeah.
it passes j, yeah. J
See,
is
see,
there because we okay.
understand basically how loops execute. Can you go a bit, can you scroll a bit up? See,
No.
no,
Yes. Where like drag arco ya to.
can you show the
Ah,
program? Can you show the program? No, program, not the
Oh,
output.
program. Okay.
See, the basic understanding of loop is your loop executes until the condition becomes false, right? And what will happen? You have three loops here. So for a value in the first loop, your inner loop will execute, your second loop will execute until the condition of second loop becomes false. And for a value of j in this second for loop, your innermost loop, that is the while loop, will basically execute until the condition becomes false, right? So when your I is equal to 1, the condition is basically true. So we went ahead and start executing, we went ahead in the inner loop for j equal to 1. Again, the condition for j is equal to 3 is correct. Now what will happen? We basically went into the inner loop. Now y equal to 1, y less than equal to 4. The condition is true. So we basically execute this print statement at 39. Again, y increments. We won't go ahead and increment at line number 37. Why? Because the condition in line number 38 has not still become false. So until and unless y less than equal to 4 becomes false, we keep on printing this product. And when y less than equal to 4 becomes false, then we just go out of this loop. We go just to the previous loop. We go to the loop at line number 37, and then we increment j, and then j becomes 2, and then for a value of j equal to 2, I equal to 1, we again go into this innermost loop. So again y becomes 1, and this will run 4 times because this is less than equal to 4, and only then the condition will become false, and then we will go to the previous loop. So j becomes 3 now, and then again this process is repeated. Now what happens? J becomes 4. So when j becomes 4, this condition becomes false. And when the second loop's condition becomes false, then we go one loop prior to this. Then we go and increment I equal to 1 to I equal to 2. Means I 1 plus 1, that is 2. So see, when the condition of the third loop becomes false, then we go to the second loop. When the condition of the second loop becomes false, then we go to the first loop. Is that clear now?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So we'll see some more examples today, and we'll see some more loop constructs today. Let me share my screen. So we're seeing this. Let me show you one more example. So see, this I had not taught you in the previous class. So what basically we are doing is like in a single for loop, we are doing multiple initializations, right? So we have like initialized two variables, t equal to 1 and p equal to 1, right? Everyone can see this at line number 87, t is equal to 1, p is equal to 1. So
Yes.
this way also sometimes you, if you want, you can do this way as well. T equal to 1, p equal to, means multiple initializations are also allowed in a for loop. And this is your condition, t less than equal to 4. And what is this double AND? This is AND operator, right? Logical AND operator. We read about this, right? And p less than equal to 4 means t should also be less than equal to 4, or and p less than equal to 4. Both these conditions should be true. And when both these conditions are basically true, we will go ahead and print this statement. And what happens next is like, once we have printed out this statement, so we increment t as well and we increment p as well. So t becomes 2, p also becomes 2. Initially both t and p were 1, right? Now we basically increment t to 2 and p to 2. So this is like incrementing uh, like multiple variables. So this is just a simple example. If someone wants to note it down, you can note it down in your editor. Multiple for loop initializations. Sometimes someone might ask you in an interview whether multiple for loop initializations are allowed or not. If allowed, how can you do it? So you can basically see, this is an example where you are doing multiple initializations. Int t equal to 1, p equal to 1. So we are basically assigning two variables, t and p to 1, and t is less than equal to 4, p less than equal to 4. This is our condition. We have put some condition on both t and p, and we are like incrementing t and incrementing p. So we are dealing with two variables in this for loop in a single for loop. Earlier we had seen like where we had written down multiple loops, but here this is a single loop and we are using two variables. Hope this is clear for everyone, right? Hello.
So that means it will print 4 times.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, let me take this. So how do you expect this? How many times will this be printed? Can you all let me know how many times this will be printed?
Until four
For
times.
anyone has any different answer? So this will be basically printed 4 times. Why? Because t was 1, p was 1, and we are checking the condition. This condition is true because 1 is less than equal to 4 and p is also less than equal to 4. And we went ahead and printed this. Now what happens? We incremented t to 2, p to 2. So this condition is again true. We printed this. Now t becomes 3, p becomes 3. So we basically again print this. Now t becomes 4, p becomes 4. So we again print this. Now t becomes 5 and p becomes 5. Now our condition is false. So we exit this loop. So this is our, so this will be basically printed 4 times. So now we are going to learn what is while loop. So while loop is basically, if let me go to the slide as well, but it's this, it's better I'll show this demo. Whatever sequence we are already printed, we will print it using while loop as well. So see, this is basically the syntax of while loop. In the main method, what we are basically doing is we are basically doing this initialization int I equal to 1. And then what happens? We are putting a condition like while I less than equal to 19. So while I less than equal to 19 is basically the condition. So while this condition is basically true, we are executing whatever is written in this curly braces, within this curly braces. So initially I equal to 1, then while I less than equal to 19. So we are basically printing this I. So I prints. So first time I prints 1. Now what we are basically doing, I plus equal to 2. So I was initially 1 and then now it becomes 3, right? 1 plus 2. So we'll again go to the condition. We'll check, is 3 less than equal to 19? Yes, it is true. So if it is true, we'll execute the statement here. So we print this statement again. Now we go ahead and increment it again. I equal to I plus 2. So 3 plus 2, 5. So again 5 less than equal to 90. This is true. So we again execute this statement. So basically what we are basically doing, the first step is initialization, next is condition check, then execution of statement, and then increment or decrement operator. So let me just write it down for you. While loop, while loop syntax. Int I equal to 1. So this is basically initialization. Then while I less than equal to 10. So at this line, we are what basically doing? This is condition check. Now what I want to do is like, I want to print. I want to print from 1 to 10. So we are basically printing I and then no need of this. So, and after printing, what we basically need to do is like, we need to do an I plus plus. Let me run it now. You saw the same output, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had printed this using for loop as well, right? So this is while loop as well. So this is the syntax of while loop: increment, decrement operator. Everyone is able to follow this? So in for loop, basically in a single line, we were having all the three things: initialization, condition check, and increment and decrement operator. Just give me a second. Yeah. So in for loop, basically what our syntax was, we were doing initialization, condition check, and increment and decrement all in the same line. Now in while loop, basically we are doing initialization first, and then we are making this condition check, and then we are executing their statements. So basically what we can write here as documentation is execution of statements. And then we have this increment and decrement. Can you all write down a simple program? There will be one exercise. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Can you all print this sequence using for loop? I think everyone understood for loop, right? This was very straightforward, and I've like documented all the initial all the steps as well. Can you all uh, write down the program using a for loop? This particular sequence 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Can you try this? Hello.
Yeah, we can try it.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, by
Yeah.
a for loop, right?
no, not for loop. Using a while loop.
Yeah, while loop. Okay.
Yeah. Using for loop, we already saw uh, many examples. We'll try to do it while using a while loop now.
Prima question though. It looks like this while loop is making the same solution like the for loop. So
Yeah.
why is the need?
I'll let you know. First, can you try to like uh, try to
Okay.
complete this program? I'll let you know. Has anyone completed this exercise? Hello.
Okay. Yeah, let me try it. Okay. Execute. Yes, yeah.
Okay, we'll give 1 minute for others to complete this. Yeah, let me write down this program for you. I'll comment this. Okay, I will just comment out this print statement. So and I is equal to 3. This is our initialization step, and we know that we need to run this loop until
No, 30.
30, right?
Right. And 30.
So we cannot use the same variable again. Initialization, we cannot do same.
That's-
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
the problem.
yeah. So that
Okay.
was why this was giving me error. Now what's the issue? 1 second. Okay. Yeah. And is z equal to 3, z less than equal to 30. And now basically I need to print this z, and I'm appending it with a space. Z plus equal to 3. So now let me try to run this. You can see this, right? This was straightforward. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Got it? Anyone who has not completed this, try to write down this and try to run your program. Yeah, someone also asked me one question, right? Like, why we basically use a for loop, and when we can do the same using a when why we basically use a while loop when we can do the same using a for loop as well, right? So the answer is basically sometimes you may not know how many times you need to run the loop. In a for loop, basically you need to know like how many times you are running the loop. Suppose you want to write a program, means print the numbers until and unless the number becomes 0 on division. Suppose you have like 100 as a number equal to 100. Divide it by 2 each time. and print it until it becomes 0, right? So what you basically do is like in a problem like this, you basically don't know like how many number of times you need to run your loop. So what you can basically do is like you can write it down int x equal to 100. You don't know the number of iterations. So in these conditions, this while loop will be very beneficial. While x greater than 0, and what you basically do now is like x is equal to x divided by 2, and you are basically printing x. So see, we are printing basically 100, 50, 25, 12, 6, 3, 1. And after this, your x has become 0. So basically, you're not knowing how many number of iterations you need to do before you are reaching before your x is becoming 0. So in this situation, your while loop is very beneficial. Can you all try to just run this program in your editor as well? This is a good example of a basic while loop. Everyone following me until now?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you all try to like run this program? So when we basically run loops, right, you can do all type of operations, like you can divide, multiply, do any type of processing statements. So initially we were just incrementing and decrementing, but see, now we are basically like dividing this value of x as well. You could like multiply as well. So that is dependent upon the requirement. So just try to like copy this example and run it.
Mm.
So you are saying we can't write this in a for loop?
There will be a lot of situations where you won't be able to like write something which you can like write using a while loop, and those situations will be basically when you don't know the number of iterations. In such situations, your while loop will be very beneficial.
Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So we'll see. So this was using while loop. I'll send this out to you via email as well. This example. There is another loop. This is a variation of like your this is a simple variation of your while loop. This is called do while loop. So what you basically do in this situation is like initially you do your initialization, then you write a keyword do, you start your curly brackets, you execute your statements, and then you increment and decrement. And after this loop, your condition is checked. So there is only one difference in this kind of uh, loop is like even if your condition is basically false for the first time, you still are executing this one, right? Because condition is checked after only printing the statements, right? Can you all see this slide?
Yes, I can see.
So what
Yeah.
basically is doing is like int I equal to 0. So this is initialization. Then we are writing the keyword do, and then we are printing this, and then I plus equal to 2. So what we are basically doing is we are printing this without even making the condition check. And after this curly braces, we are making this condition check. So even if the condition is false for uh, even if the condition is false, right? For the
Yeah,
first time,
first time false, yeah,
yeah.
because yeah.
Even then we are basically printing this statement for the first time. So first time we are basically skipping the condition check. So now if the condition is true, this do while loop will execute again. This was similar to while loop. This is not used much in practice. Basically for loop and while loop are like most popular. This is like used in very rare scenarios. Even I basically don't use this very often, means very rarely. So I will not take an example on this one. This is like very straightforward. If you would like to just try it out, uh, I'll the Google slide has already this one. You can try it out. This is very straightforward, but this is not so much popular. And the basic difference between this while and do while loop is that you can execute a do while loop even if the condition is wrong for the first time.
So, Parita,
Yes,
yeah, we have initialization. Int is equal to 0, so it is initial.
correct.
Then we have do while. Then it execute. After execute, back to check. I
After
increment.
after executing, like printing the statement, we do your increment or decrement operator, whatever you need to do. We are doing that increment and decrement operator, and then we close this bracket. So this closing bracket is of the like for an opening bracket after do. This is the closing bracket before while, and then we write this condition check while I is less than equal to 19. So if see I is equal to 0, we printed this 0. Now I equal to I plus 2, so I is 2. Now what happens? 2 is less than equal to 19. The condition becomes true. Now, if the condition becomes true, we again go and print 2. And then I plus equal to 2. 2 plus 2. So now I is equal to 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 4 is less than equal to 19. Again, condition becomes true. Again, we print the statement. Again, we do this increment. And then again, we go ahead and do this condition check.
If the condition is false,
Even if,
the
see,
result is 0 or what?
no. If the condition is no, when the condition becomes false finally, right? Suppose I became 20. So 20 less than equal to 19 is false, right? So when this
Yeah.
condition is false, so this will execute the exit the loop. So that is what it will do.
Okay. So until not including 19, this is 18, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Until 18 it will be printed because we are incrementing by 2. It will be printed like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then until 18.
until 18, okay. So the first one false because 0 not included too, right? After
Sorry?
0 is, yeah, first one I is equal to 0, right? So I
Yeah.
is not equal to 2. That's the false. After that is come true because less than less
So
than 19.
see, I is equal to 0 means
Yes.
here the condition is not false, right? 0 is less than equal to 19. That condition is still true. But even if like suppose I had like written I less than equal to -1, even then it would print first time, right? Okay, let me write it down for you. See, I is equal to 1. Then we started this do while loop. We are printing this I. So this is 1 and then I became 2 at this point, right? Because we incremented this. But see, our condition was like I less than equal to 0. If I is like less than equal to, if I is less than 0, then, sorry, just give me a second. Yeah. See, I is like greater than, our I value is 1. So 1 less than 0. This condition is false, right? Even if this condition is false, we are still able to like print this. So this is the basic difference between this while loop and do while loop. Why? Because in while loop, basically we check the condition first and then execute the statements, right?
Hmm.
In do while loop, what we are basically doing is we are first executing the statement and then making this condition check. So that is why we are basically able to execute the statements even if the condition was false. But just a one time. Next time, when the condition became false, this do while loop will basically exit. Got it?
Okay. Yep, I got it.
Yeah, so this was very straightforward. We won't take much examples on this one because this is not very popular. You can try out the same exercises, whatever we did, even with while loop and do while loop. Let me go ahead to the next. So we'll see how if else structure works. So basically, if you see this syntax, right? If expression statement 1, else statement 2. So in this expression, we would basically have some kind of like condition. Suppose we place one condition like a is less than 10, and if the value of a is less than 10, then this statement 1 will be executed. If the condition in this expression, right, if this condition is false, then statement 2 is executed. So did you get? So basically, when our condition is correct, our if statement will be executed. If our condition is false, basically we would execute this else statement. Let me try to show you with a demo. Let me try to run this program. See, now we have done an initialization of a variable I is equal to 10 at line number 5. And what we are basically checking. So this is the opening bracket of this condition, if condition at line number 7. And here at line number 9, this is the closing bracket. And between this opening and closing bracket, we can print out some statements. We can like execute some statements. We can like do increment, decrement, whatever you want to do. Means basically if you want to set your statements with some condition, so basically you can use this if and else conditions. Suppose you are writing down your code and somewhere you thought like I have to like place some condition, like if this condition is true, this set of statements should execute. If these statements are false, the other set of statements should execute. Means making some kind of like judgment whether this condition, if this condition is true, then go ahead and execute these particular statements. If this condition is false, then go ahead and like execute this pair of statements. So basically when I is less than 15, so 10 is less than 15, right? So we went ahead and printed this statement. So we basically is are printing I is less than 15. Now let me make this to 5. Now I less than equal to 5. Okay, so 1 second. I plus 15, right? So
You need to change
okay,
I,
one
right?
second.
The int.
Let me make this like I greater than 15. If I greater than 15, okay, 1 second, 1 second. I is
You
less
need
than
to
15.
change 10. 10.
Yeah,
10,
yeah, sorry,
10.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. So let me make this to 20. So I is 20 and 20 less than 15. The condition became false, right? So when the condition became false, so we do not go into this if block, we basically go in this block. So I is greater than 15. This is our expected output. Let me try to run this. I is greater than 15 because this condition became false. So when this condition became false, this pair of statements is not executed. Whatever is within the else block, that will be executed. Got it? This is very straightforward. Now there is another set of loops, another set of conditional statements. Conditional statements. This is if, else, if. So int I is equal to 10. So you can basically have if, let me try to write it down. If I is less than 5, okay, okay, sorry. I need to write in a main method. My bad. Int I equal to 10. But I'm writing an if statement now. If I is less than 5, print hello. Now instead of else, I'm writing else if. And again in else if I'm placing a condition. If I is greater than 5 and I is
Not
less
yet.
than 10, then we are printing world. Else print hello world. So what basically we mean by these statements? So you can have like a number of else if statements. You can like have another number of else if statements. But when you write if and else statements, right? Only one else statement can be written. Only one else statements. Only one else statement. So see, I is less than 5. If I was less than 5, hello would be printed. Then we have like I else if condition. I greater than 5 and I less than 10. So, and this is the AND operator, right? So what AND operator means is like basically both the conditions should be true. So are these conditions true? I is greater than 5. So this is true because I is 10 and I less than 10. Is I less than 10? It is not, right? Because I is equal to 10. So this was false. So if one of the conditions out of this is false, so basically we would not go in this loop and this won't be executed. So if none of the statements are executed, then we basically go to this else statement. So what is the expected output in this one? Can anyone tell me?
Hello world.
Yes. Let me try to run this. Hello world. You could have like another else if statements here. You could just give some condition. If I is equal to 10, if I is equal to say 23, print something, print star star star. So you could basically have like a number of else if statements. So if this condition is not executed, it goes and checks like another set of conditions. This condition. If this is not executed, then it will go to this statement. If this is not executed, then finally this will go in else statement. So let me try to tell you. So there's one more question. Like if I had placed, okay, one question from everyone. So if my this statement was executed, if I less than 5, would it go and run this condition as well? What do you think?
Sorry, say what?
Will
Yeah.
exit, right?
So if I is less than 5, if this condition was say true, means let's say I is equal to 4. And we know that this condition is now true, right? Because I is equal to 4, 4 is less than 5. So this condition is true. So this hello will be printed. Do you think it will still go and execute these statements?
No.
Yeah, that is correct. Because if else if condition means that only one out of these conditions will be executed. But if there was like another if statement, suppose if I is equal to 4, do you think this pair of statements will be executed?
Uh, for my understanding, yes, because
Okay.
it is equals to 4. Yeah.
No,
No, it
no,
will
no.
exit after the first condition is
Okay.
met, right?
Let me
Oh,
try
the
to run this. This is hello, right? Okay. Let me make this like equal to 5 and I less than equal to 10. For your understanding, see, I less than 5, this is correct. So this will get printed definitely, right? Hello will be printed. Everyone with me?
Yeah, for the
yes.
yes.
Yeah, this will be printed. Now see, this condition is also false. Sorry, this condition is also true now, right? No, no. Let me make this. I equal to 4. This is true and I less than equal to 10. Let me try to run this. This did not get printed, right? this condition was true. Everyone agrees? Because I is equal to 4 is true and 4 is less than 10. That is also true. This condition was true. But even then this did not get printed. Why? When we are using an if else condition, else condition. So what happens in this scenario? Only one of the statements will be executed. Only one of the conditions will be executed. If has already executed, then else if none of the else if or else conditions will be executed. If condition has already executed, none of the else if conditions or else will be executed, even if they are true. Now, when I make some modification here, let me uncomment this if I is equal to 4. This is not true with if condition. So if we have like multiple if statements here, right? So all will get executed. First it will execute this, then it will execute this as well. So see, this has will also be printed. See, hello, and then has. So there's some difference here. If this conditional statement was correct, this got printed. Then again, if this conditional statement was correct, this got printed as well. But when we are using if else if condition, even if the conditions below are correct, only one of the conditions will be executed, because that is how this operates. If the first statements are executed, then the else if none of the else if statements will be executed. So Java compiler will not even see, it will just see that if it is an else if, it will ignore this. It will not even go and check this condition, because this is a set of if, else if, and then again else if. So suppose say this was like say 15. Now this is false. So this condition became false. So this will not be executed. This condition also became false. So this print statement also will not be executed. This condition is also false. So this will not be executed. So now if none of the statements are executed, then else is basically some kind of like default block. So this will get executed. Got it? So what is the expected output here?
So the default, the last default, that which means hello world.
Yes. Hello world will be printed here. Everyone is clear until now?
Yeah.
So whenever you say else, it means unless the prior condition is not met, right?
Correct. That is like the default thing. So if all the previous conditions are not met, if none of the conditions were true, your else block will be executed, whatever statements you have written in else block.
Okay. So the initial give us the initial value is important first, right? So
Hello, I think your voice is a bit low. Can you please speak a bit louder?
hold on,
Hello?
yeah, you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the initial value how to, I mean is the follow first initial value. Now lookup, right? I mean first here true. You don't expect, I mean you don't execute the next one because already conditional, right? First
Yeah.
one get true, you stop there, already get it. It's
Yeah. So see,
the first one, you have to loop them again, right?
so see, when if this if condition was correct, and
Yeah.
the compiler went ahead, Java compiler went ahead and saw that this was an else if condition. So Java compiler already knows that one if condition was already executed, and this is else if. So this will not go and even check the condition. But if this was not an else if this was an if condition, then it would basically go and check this condition. If this condition is true, it would print this as well. But since this is an else if, so it will basically not check this condition and not print this. Got it?
I got it. Okay. So everything true when you hit it, we just everything is printed.
Even if this statement is true in else if, right? We already saw this. Even if this statement was true, if this condition is already met, if this condition was already true, this would be printed, and it would, these statements won't be printed. These print statements won't be printed.
Okay. Good.
Okay, we'll keep this class until this only, and you try to like practice as much as possible, because if you try to like get hold of this, try out on your own, like make some conditional statements, try to like use if else as much as possible, make some keep some default values of some variable, then try to change those, and then try to like print those out. So then you will basically see the flow. Sometimes you will get your expected output, sometimes not. By only trying out this as much as possible, you will basically get this. And this, whatever exercises you did in the last class, right, with for loop, those three exercises, you can try this out with this while loop demo as well, using while loops as well. I will send it out, send these demos as well to you all on your email by today, and I'll send this all these demos. I'll also record this video by end of the day, or by tomorrow this will be published. So keep uh, practicing as much as possible, go through the Google slides as well, and then we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Prita.
Thank
If
you.
can I ask you?
Yes, please go ahead, Keshav.
Can you back to do while?
Do while, right? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. From here, now still I'm not clear.
Okay.
Because of we have the initial and also second we have for the execute statement, but the check or the condition statement is the last after close the curly brace. So how did you get to check for the second round to
Yeah.
need inner out?
Okay. Okay. First thing, like this is initialization, correct? Then this is like execution of statements. This is increment, decrement, and then this is condition check. So see what happened. Initialization was done. Your variable was initialized with a value of 1. Then what happens? 2. This statement got printed. First, this statement got printed. I is equal to 1 was printed, and I plus plus was uh, incremented. So I became 2. So see, what condition we are having? I less than 0. Was I less than 0? No, right? So even if the while condition was false, we still went ahead and basically printed it for the first time. So basic difference between while loop and do while loop is like, in while loop, if your condition is false, your statement won't be executed at all. But in do while loop, if your statement is if your condition is like false for the first time, it won't be executed. That means one time your condition check is getting skipped, right? Because you are first processing the statements and then going to the condition check. So this is one additional benefits. Sometimes you might get some scenarios where you basically use do while loop. Let me try out one more example. Okay, we will basically try to, this was to, we'll try to print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A simple example we'll take. Int x equal to 1, and then what we'll basically do, we'll write a do while condition, we'll write system.out.print statement, and then we basically, and then we write our increment operator, I plus equal to 1 or I plus plus, anything is fine. And then we make this condition check here. And what is our basic, what condition we basically need to check? If I is less than equal to 10. So, and then one semicolon is also required here in do while loop syntax. So we basically go ahead and try to execute this one. Okay, oh, 1 second. Sorry, we were supposed to print X, right? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see, initially X was initialized to 1. We printed out X, then we incremented X. And now we are making a check. Is 2 less than is 2 less than equal to 10? So our condition is true. Again, we execute this print statement. Again, X is incremented to 3. And again, we check the condition. Is 3 less than equal to 10? Condition is true. Again, we go to this print statement. Now X becomes 4. And is 4 less than equal to 10? So this condition is true. So we keep doing this until this condition becomes false. So when X becomes 11, this condition is false. And then we basically exit this loop, terminate this loop. Got it?
Mm,
You still have
yes.
any doubts, Gyasa?
Yeah, I will see myself and have if I have a question, I will ask you next class when
Yeah.
starting.
Yeah. I'll send this demos. Try to like read on your own as well, and try to like execute as many examples as possible. Then you will understand more. If you still have any doubt, maybe in the next class, you can ask these questions. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I'll stop the recording and